Well, good morning. Today is Wednesday, May 25th. I'm Danielle Wiggins with your 3 News Now morning update. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me on the WKYC YouTube page. We start with Holly, who's tracking your forecast.
All right, Danielle, thank you. And we're getting closer to that Memorial Day weekend. It's a short week for so many of you. So we are seeing some sunshine this morning. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy skies. Feeling seasonal today. Also, chances for showers. Can't rule that out. So make sure you have your umbrellas just in case. Hopefully you won't need them. I know a lot of you have errands to do and things like that, but the chance is there. Better chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, Friday. Saturday, look at how this times out for us. It'll be a very early shower chance, and it's small. And then we're clearing. Temperatures will be in the 70s and seasonal on Saturday. And then we're going to jump into that unofficial summer vibe as we warm into the 80s to even near 90 by Memorial Day, Danielle.
Thank you so much, Holly. Now to the developing news in Texas. After a shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde, police say 19 students and 2 adults are dead after a gunman opened fire at Robb Elementary School. The 18-year-old gunman was killed by law enforcement. The attack was the deadliest shooting at a U.S. grade school since a gunman killed 26 at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut almost a decade ago. And this morning, flags at the White House are at half-staff. In a statement, President Joe Biden ordered flags across the nation be lowered as a mark of respect for the victims of the senseless acts of violence. And several Ohio lawmakers are reacting on social media about the tragedy. Governor Mike DeWine said that he and his wife Fran are heartbroken over the tragedy while offering assistance from the Ohio Department of Public Safety to Texas law enforcement if needed. Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown posted, quote, "I'm at a loss. The inaction of a handful of politicians in Washington and state legislatures continues to cost us lives. Mass shooting after mass shooting." And Senator Rob Portman tweeted, "My heart goes out to the families of the victims of this horrible tragedy in Uvalde. Our nation mourns for the innocent children, teacher, and all those affected by this senseless act of violence." And when there is a school shooting, many parents wonder, could this happen at my child's school? We spoke with Dan Flannery, professor at Case Western with the Begun Center for Violence Prevention Research and Education, who says the Ohio School Safety Center has working resources to try and assess threats before something happens.
But even in Ohio, actually, the Ohio School Safety Center, there is a new requirement in Ohio that school districts adopt a threat assessment, undergo threat assessment training, and in certain instances, develop threat assessment teams. So when you identify an individual, a young person who may exhibit some of the signs where they might be at risk for harming another person or making threats to harm another person, that there's a set of protocols in place that you would do an assessment and make a determination of the imminent nature of the threat, the seriousness of the threat. What are the services and supports that this young person might need, in order to get help?
The Ohio School Threat Assessment Training uses practices from school safety officials and helps schools team up with community members to prevent targeted violence. And in Ohio, following the Dayton shooting that killed 9 people and injured 17 others, Governor DeWine promised to do everything he could to prevent gun violence. But since then, he signed into law a new concealed carry bill. It allows concealed carry without a permit, and those who can legally own a gun no longer need 8 hours of training. That law goes into effect next month. And the tragedy out of Texas is top of mind for many, especially parents and their children. The violence seen across the TV and social media. It's something that many parents may want to address with their kids, but aren't exactly sure how. Victoria Seacrest, a marriage and family therapist, says what's happened in Texas takes a toll on children. She says those emotions and whatever feelings come up from the latest shooting, well, they should be expressed.
We're noticing these school shootings are not stopping. And so we need to have these conversations. We need to have some sort of preparedness, or even being able to understand this is difficult to talk about.
So how do you go about having those conversations? Psychologists say it depends on how old your students are. For younger children, it might be best to say, what questions do you have about that and how are you feeling? And for older kids, it's all about honesty. Doctors say you should encourage your kids to talk about how they feel, but also talk about how you feel. And more local headlines to get to you this morning. Here's 3 things to know. Geauga's child finally has justice. Gail Eastwood Ritchie was sentenced to spend the rest of her life in prison Tuesday. A jury found Ritchie guilty in April of dumping her newborn baby wrapped in a trash bag on the side of a road in 1993. She will be eligible for parole after 15 years. An Iraqi citizen living in Columbus is under arrest for allegedly planning to kill former President George W. Bush. 52-year-old Shiab Ahmed was arrested Tuesday morning. The FBI says he planned to smuggle 4 Iraqis into the U.S. to kill the former president in retaliation for invading Iraq in 2003. Ahmed has been federally charged with an immigration crime and with aiding and abetting a plot to murder. And today, the Ohio Supreme Court will consider whether 2020 Cedar Point season pass holders should receive partial refunds for what some say is a breach of contract. The 2020 season did not start until July 9th because of the pandemic, leading pass holders to argue that they should get refunds for the 2 months that the park was closed. Cedar Point's attorney says that the park extended the pass benefits to 2021, giving guests more than they bought. And of course, we will continue to cover this story throughout the day on social media as well as WKYC.com. Well, thank you for joining me for your 3 News Now morning update. Our digital team will continue to bring you the stories making headlines around Northeast Ohio and beyond. Make sure you continue to check our social media pages and WKYC.com throughout the day. I'm Danielle Wiggins, and I'll see you tomorrow morning on Go, starting bright and early or dark and early at 4:30 a.m. Have a great day, everybody.